I'm going to record. Okay, I was telling you about the first activity that you have to do for Unit 5, that is a forum in which you have to give recommendation and some advice to your partners about the use of mobile phone. So in Seduca, guys, we have another activity that you have to complete. It says a radio station recently asked its listeners for their points of view about mobile phones. This is what some of them said. As you read the dialogues, think about the following. So here, guys, we have, do you agree with any of the people, anything the people say? Do you know anyone with similar views to these people? So if you give a click to Paula, for example, we can read her opinion. I couldn't live without my mobile phone. I think I'm addicted to it. In fact, I make over 20 calls a day and I send at least 40 text messages. I just like to be in touch with all my friends. It used to be more expensive to send texts, but I've got a special deal with the phone company now. So all texts are free and calls are cheaper too. Anyway, I wouldn't give it up for all the money in the world. So these are some opinions about the use of mobile phone. Once you read all the opinions, the next activity that you have to do is a comprehension reading exercise. So it says this person prefers laptops than mobile phones. So here you have to choose among these people that you have read previously, okay? So this is the exercise that you have to do. It's a reading exercise. And then let's turn over the page. And here we have a listening exercise. It says sometimes the use of mobile phones may become annoying for some people. Let's listen to some people talking about annoying situations dealing with mobile phones. So listen to 5 people talking about things that annoy them about mobiles. Match the speakers with what they say. So here we have the listening. You have just to give a click to this listening and answer this exercise. It's just to test your listening comprehension. Then, guys, in this section, you have vocabulary related to the use of gadgets, like dialing a number, texting a phone, hung up, choosing a new ringtone, call back, left a message, leave a message on your voicemail, and when the line is engaged or busy. So here we have some vocabulary of mobile phones that you can also check. And then we have the explanation of modal verbs that we have seen for giving permission, advice, or obligation. And here we have must and should, can are modal verbs. All modal verbs have certain special characteristics. They are used to modify the meanings of another verb. They take infinitive without to, remember. That's a terrible cough. You should see a doctor. This is for giving advice. They don't add an S in the third person, yes. For example, he should go on a diet. Can you see the verb go remains the same, doesn't change. And you cannot use them with another auxiliary. Example, must you go? You shouldn't do that. So these are the rules, some things that we need to take into account about modal verbs. And we have have to and has to, remember, to talk about rules or obligations. I have to go to the dentist. And with this modal verb can be conjugated in the third person of singular, like has to. She is a diabetic, so she has to take insulin. For questions and negative, we use the auxiliary do or does or don't or doesn't. Remember, with have to and don't have to. For example, do you have to work on Sundays? No, I don't. Does she have to work on Sunday? No, she doesn't. And then it says modals are used to express a great range of meanings. So remember that must and have to are used for obligations. Yes, we use for personal obligations. So I am gaining weight. I must go on a diet. I must phone my mother. I haven't seen her for ages. Have to is a little more impersonal. Everybody has to pay taxes. I have to do an English exam next week. When you are not sure if to use must or have to, use have to. Yes. And mustn't, remember, mustn't is for prohibition and don't have to is when something is not necessary. For example, you mustn't smoke in a petrol station. It's prohibited. And for no obligation, it says teachers don't have to wear ties. It's no obligation. You don't have to leave yet. There is an all-night bus, for example. No tienes que irte. Hay un camión nocturno. Can or can't, remember, is for ability and also is for permission. Example, you can't smoke in a petrol station. It's not permitted. You can leave now if you want to. Puedes salir si quieres. That is permitted. Must and should. Remember that must is for strong obligation. And should is weaker. Should is for giving advice, but is soft, softer than must. So you should go to see the doctor. I should revise for the exam. So these are another expressions that you can use, like you are allowed to, is like can, you can. You're allowed to go home. Se te permite ir a casa. You're allowed to go home early on Friday. Supposed to is sometimes similar to should. It can imply that people do not follow the rules all the time. So I am supposed to wear a suit to work, but I sometimes come in jeans. Se supone que yo tengo que usar un traje para el trabajo, pero a veces puedo usar pantalones de mezclilla y una playera. Entonces también puedes utilizar I'm supposed to o you are supposed to. Se conjuga con verbo ser o estar. You are supposed to be here. Se supone que tienen que estar aquí, okay? But sometimes you don't do it. And these are basically the modal verbs that are coming in Seduca. So let's turn over the page. And we have the first portfolio activity. So for the portfolio activity, guys, you have to read an article about mobile addiction, symptoms, impacts, and causes. And then after you read this article, you have to make, you have to write another article in which you can talk about the consequences of excessive mobile phone use, some rules that every college student should adopt in their school and daily life regarding mobile phone use, and some suggestions to decrease the use of mobile phone. So in your article, you need to consider 3 main paragraphs. In the first paragraph, the introduction, you have to talk about the consequences. To talking about the consequences, guys, you can recycle what we saw in the previous unit. I mean, you can use conditionals. You can use conditionals to talk about the results. For example, if you continue using your mobile phone in excess, you will have some health problems, okay? Or you won't be able to have a good sleep. So you can use conditional, first conditional to talk about results. Also, you can use some sentences using future, like going to or will. I think you will, okay? If you want to make predictions or if you want to talk about results, you can use also future. So you can recycle, for the first paragraph, you can recycle what we saw in the previous units. You can use conditional or you can use future to talk about the results, okay, the consequences. In the main body, guys, you have to talk about the rules that every college or student should adopt in their school and daily life regarding mobile phone use. So in that case, in this paragraph, guys, you have to use the expressions that we use to give advice, the expressions that I share with you in the PowerPoint presentation, and also modal verbs, okay? Modal verbs to give strong recommendations, to talk about prohibitions, to talk about possibilities, opinions, to make suggestions, etc. Okay, so you need to use those phrases and modal verbs in the second paragraph. And in the last paragraph, in the conclusion, okay, also you need modal verbs and expressions to give final recommendations or suggestions. And that's it. In total, you need to write around 150 words, from 150 to 170 words. No more than that, okay? No more than that. Every paragraph maybe has 6 or 7 lines at the most, no more than that. I don't want you to write too much. Just very small paragraphs, like about 5 to 7 lines each paragraph, no more than that. And make sure that you use the expressions to give suggestions and recommendation and modal verbs that we have seen so far. So this is what you have to do. So now, guys, do you have any question? ¿Alguna pregunta? ¿Algo? De sus dos actividades que tienen que realizar en Seduca, chicos. La primera, recuerden que es el foro, y la segunda, recuerden que es el artículo. Sobre estas, ¿tienen alguna duda o alguna actividad en general sobre Seduca? ¿Tienen alguna pregunta, alguna duda, algo que quieran comentar? ¿Dudas, chicos? Si tienen alguna duda, también la pueden escribir en el chat o me la pueden decir en este momento. ¿Dudas? ¿Preguntas? Ya sea sobre las actividades que tienen que hacer en esta unidad o sobre alguna otra cosa. ¿Ya están haciendo las actividades que les asigné en el cuadernillo interactivo, chicos? ¿Ya las están haciendo? Díganme cuál es su opinión. ¿Alguna opinión, algún comentario? ¿Dudas, chicos?
No, thank you.
No, ninguna, ¿en serio? Me sorprenden, chicos, que no tengan ninguna duda.
Sí, somos muy listos, profe.
Bueno, es que las dudas a veces me las comentan ya vía personal en WhatsApp. Pero bueno, antes de que se vayan, les voy a poner una liga para que me registren su asistencia el día de hoy, ¿ok? Esto solamente es para tener un récord personal de la asistencia de ustedes a la sesión de hoy, ¿ok? Entonces, ahorita se las comparto. Ahorita se las comparto para que ustedes me registren. Son solamente 3 preguntas para que registren su asistencia. ¿Una pregunta, duda? Bueno, pues la buena noticia, chicos, es que ya estamos en la última unidad del programa que nos marca aquí Seduca. Entonces, pues vamos bien a pesar de todo. A pesar de todo, vamos bien. Ya cuando terminemos el programa, lo único que vamos a hacer es dedicarnos a repasar los temas porque ya están las fechas. No sé si ustedes ya vieron, ya entraron a control escolar, pero ya aparecen las fechas de examen, ya aparecen las fechas de exámenes. Y como ustedes saben, va a haber solo un examen y me parece que su examen va a ser en julio. Entonces tenemos, bueno, yo voy a tener tiempo para calificar todos sus trabajos y también vamos a tener tiempo para, para repasar los temas de examen y estar listos para su examen, ¿ok? Es por eso que les comento que pues vamos bien en los temas y, y vamos a estar bien preparados para la evaluación. Vamos a estar preparados. Lo único que nos faltaría de Seduca es los proyectos integradores, porque tenemos que realizar 2 proyectos, uno por cada parcial. Entonces, después de que terminemos de ver los temas de la unidad 5, lo siguiente que tendríamos que terminar sería, bueno, sería 2 proyectos integradores, uno por parcial, y terminar con las actividades de autoacceso. Como ustedes se fijaron, para el primer parcial solo les pedí 4 actividades de autoacceso. Entre las 4 forma un 10%. Ahora, la primera actividad de autoacceso que les voy a asignar para el segundo parcial, digámoslo así, es una que les voy a enviar en unos momentos a su correo para practicar el uso de los modal verbs. Esta actividad la vamos a revisar en la siguiente sesión, ¿ok? Ustedes la van a realizar y la vamos a revisar en la siguiente sesión. Sería la primera actividad que tendríamos que hacer para autoacceso virtual. La vamos a revisar la siguiente sesión y hasta ahorita, hasta ahí iríamos. Y bueno, les voy a abrir ya las actividades. Les voy a abrir las actividades de la unidad 5 para que ya las empiecen a hacer de la primera parte de la unidad 5. Y pueden empezar a contestar el foro y empezar a redactar su artículo. Obviamente me pueden ir enviando sus borradores. Para que no tenga ningún problema. Ahora, chicos, les estoy compartiendo ya la liga de registro de la sesión. ¿La pueden ver en el chat? ¿Ya la pueden ver? Indíquenme si la pueden ver.
Ya.
Ok, bueno, solamente denle un clic y contesten las 3 preguntas que les hago para registrar su asistencia. Por mi parte, chicos, sería todo. Si no hay alguna duda o pregunta, pues es todo. En un momento les mando las ligas de la sesión grabada. Les mando igual también la primera actividad de autoacceso para el segundo parcial, para que ustedes la vayan haciendo. Y les abriré las actividades de Seduca el día de hoy, de la unidad 5, la del foro y la del artículo, de la primera parte de la unidad 5. Entonces, chicos, ¿dudas, preguntas? ¿Nada?
No.
No. Bueno, ya todos le dieron clic a la liga. Sí, ya todos vieron la liga en el chat. Un chico que no puede escuchar, una chica que no puede escuchar. Pero bueno, les voy a enviar la sesión grabada a su correo. Bueno, chicos, muchas gracias por su asistencia y nos vemos en la siguiente sesión, ¿ok? Que tengan un excelente día y nos vemos pronto. Bye, bye.
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 Bye, bye, chicos.